Is a teacher, an academic lecturer, teacher trainer, ESL project manager, co-founder of the Double Education Method, IA TESOL Poland active member, but also a propagator of informal and non-formal approach to foreign language education. So, the floor is yours. Okay.
Can you hear me without the microphone? Or shall I use it? Which one's more convenient?
Test it to choose.
Test to choose, okay. Alright, well, with the microphone it's like that. Okay, right. Well, thanks, first of all, thanks a lot for coming. Second of all, thank you, the Please Project, and in particular Maria Luisa, our local angel here, for making it all possible. I hope you won't regret it. The idea is to share with you a certain approach which has been created over the past few years and tried extensively with real existing parents and real existing children to, by which we have proven that there is something rather interesting and fresh that we can do to language education. And we call this language less foreign because, we all teach a foreign language, do we not? Yes, we are all language teachers. So are you language teachers? Yes, hands up if you are a language teacher. Let's just see. Are you a parent, maybe? Yeah. Have you got children? You know, the little people? Yeah, we've seen them before. Yeah? So, can I see parents? Parents? Okay, quite a few, very good. Because grandparents, yes, okay. Let's check. Right, a few grandparents, excellent. So we have the right kind of crowd for this, okay? Because it's something which is created by a rather abnormal parent, which, I am a methodologist, but also a parent. I'll show you my kids in a moment. My wife is here, Anya, and it's very important because, of course, without her, there would be no children to test this. And secondly, of course, she was actually the inspiration behind this as a real mother. So I want to acknowledge this. Whatever happened in this approach originally, it was her idea. So with all of this in place, I would like to start by telling you how you can make English a little bit less foreign. And when I say less foreign, not just at home, but perhaps also, if you use this methodology, to a certain extent at school. I will tell you about what my problem with school teaching of English is in a moment, but I will try and show you also how we can help in both of these situations. First of all, I need to check something with you. Do you watch films? Yes. Yes? Have you seen this one? Yes. Which film is this? Shrek, excellent, okay. Have you seen Shrek? Shrek 1, this one, okay. Right, now Shrek is a very famous film, and in Shrek, there is this very interesting character, the donkey. Yeah, the donkey's here. Yeah, and you know what this one is? Well, you can probably guess, even if you haven't seen Shrek, right? It's a big dragon, yes. How does the donkey feel, do you think, when confronted with the dragon?
Quite scary.
Quite scary, right? But if you have seen the film, you know what happens next, right? The dragon actually turns out to be a she, not a he, and she falls in love with donkey, and donkey falls in love with the dragon, and they live happily ever after. Now, what does this have to do, well, until Shrek 2, what does this have to do with foreign language? Well, I would like us to use this as a metaphor for a learner learning a foreign language, particularly at the beginning, okay? So when you start learning a foreign language, I think you feel like the donkey, okay? And what's the foreign language? The foreign language is the dragon, okay? It's scary because you don't know it, yeah? The words are foreign, the sounds are foreign, right? right? The ways to put those things together are all foreign, okay? So it's foreign, very easy to be scared of it. Now, why am I showing you this? Because I would also like to show you the very opposite of a foreign language. Okay, would you like to see? Okay, the very opposite of the foreign language is this. I know, yeah. Okay, now, what's interesting here is that, of course, it's the language, what's the non-foreign language? The non-foreign language is the language that we learn at home, yes? In English, this language is called mother tongue, yeah? The language of the mother. In Poland, in Polish, this language is called father tongue, okay? Now, Spanish, mother or father? Mother, yeah. But you know what is interesting? I keep checking it in different languages. It's always one or the other. Okay? Mother tongue, father tongue, parents tongue. Okay? Not sisters, not mother-in-law. Yeah, mother or father, always. Okay, is this one funny for some reason? Okay, anyway, so what I'm trying to tell you is that there is something interesting about the methodology that all parents have, although they are not teachers. Yeah, they are just parents, but they have a certain methodology that makes first language very quickly non-foreign. Okay? Now, what is it that they have? This is something that I would like us to talk about. They have something very special. They are specialists with 100% success. It's amazing, isn't it? That as parents now, you show me the parents, hands up again. You guys are amazing, okay? No methodologist can beat you. Okay? We all can teach our children their first language, no matter how difficult it is. Where does the magic come from? I think it's really interesting. And also interesting in that foreign language teaching methodology has not been that successful. Despite all the collective effort. For some reason, it has not been as successful as parents. So let's talk about parents, because they know something about teaching a foreign language. The first language is also foreign, right? Until you learn it. Yes? Before, it's foreign. So somehow, parents are the best foreign language teachers. So that's what I would like us to talk about here, very seriously. Okay? And as I said, I am a parent too. And, there's something important about parents, which is, of course, that parents want their children to succeed. Yes? In anything. In life, generally, but also when it comes to something important, such as learning a foreign language. So, if you are a parent, you are in the background of this, right? And your child is in the foreground, as it is in this picture, and your mind is always about how I'm going to make my child successful. And that's what I would like to think about now. What strategies do we use as parents so that our children become successful in, for instance, learning their first language? And can we use those strategies in the second language? And the starting point for all of this is actually not me, but it's the science of learning. And the modern science of learning says something rather interesting. It's not just about language, it's about anything. It says that generally the brain really learns only the things which the brain considers useful. Okay? If something is not useful, the brain kind of shuts it off. Okay? You may learn it short term, like for a test, but then you forget very quickly. You only learn for real if you consider something useful. And of course, once I said this, you only learn when something is really useful, the obvious question is, what's the obvious question? Well, what about foreign language? If you are learning a foreign language in a place like Spain or Poland, I think there's an important issue. And the issue is that if you think about it really, then a foreign language in a place like Poland or Spain or Greece or Portugal, in fact, where everybody else around the child speaks the child's first language, correct? Mom speaks Spanish and dad speaks Spanish and brother speaks Spanish and the teacher at school speaks Spanish and the lady in the shop speaks Spanish. Everybody speaks Spanish, right? So you can satisfy all your needs that you need to express through language in Spanish when you are in Spain, right? So what's the English good for? Well, let's answer this for real, because it's an important question. I think the answer, sadly, is that English is good for nothing. And I'm saying this as a teacher, okay? Because this is an important moment, okay? As teachers, it's very easy to believe that because you teach something, it's useful. But with a foreign language, normally, the sad fact of life is that it may be useful sometime later in life. You know, for instance, when you go to a foreign country, right? But interestingly, today you are not in a foreign country. Today you are in Spain, okay? And today you have to put in the effort, and yet today you are not going to get anything out of it, you see? That's the problem, okay? You are nodding, so I'm not making, you know, completely nonsensical comments here, right? Of course, it's not just true of young children, it's true of everybody, but with young children it's particularly acute. So the problem then basically is what I'm trying to show you on this slide, which is that language is simply taught as yet another subject, school subject, you know, like maths, like history, and like all sorts of other things, okay? There is no heart, in other words, in it. There's just a brain that, you know, is telling me it's useful, but my own subjective learner brain does not feel that. And the science of learning is also saying that when the brain really learns, it is incredibly happy. And if a brain is learning something for real, something that is interesting, useful, okay, surprising, fascinating, then the brain is really like it's on drugs. Okay, it's happy, it's high, literally, high on the right chemicals. And that's what we need in order for language learning to really happen. Not easy in Spain, not easy in Poland or Portugal or Greece, okay? Because normally it's just taught as a subject and kids do not feel the immediate need of what they are learning. That's where I think the action should be. Okay? Make sure that there is more of this. And at this point, before I show you how you make it more relevant, I have a little puzzle for you. Okay? It's a linguistic puzzle. The puzzle is this. Do you know this word? The word learning, right? Now, the puzzle is the following. Inside the word learning, there is another word hidden. Yeah, you've seen that? Yeah. Inside the word learning is another word called earning. And notice, if you cut off earning, the only thing that remains is the letter L, which is the universal symbol for learn. Yeah? I think that the coincidence is just too good to miss. So, you know, my main message for you this afternoon is there is no real learning without earning. Okay? And when I say no learning without earning, I do not, of course, mean money. Okay? Transfer of money, not that sense of earning. But what I do mean is that the brain of the learner must feel that by learning, in this case, a bit of English, they are gaining something really useful. Okay? They can satisfy a need which otherwise it would be not as easy to satisfy. Am I making sense? Well, actually, there's a little problem with this. Because, of course, in order to make English immediately useful in Spain, are you with me? Yeah? I am in Spain, I want to learn English and I want to make it useful immediately. Then, really, I mean, at one level, the only way would be to actually take the child outside of Spain. Right? You know, if you take a child outside of Spain, inside an English-speaking country, well, that's when English becomes immediately useful today. Correct? Because then if you have kids in the playground that speak only English and not Spanish, then of course you will want to communicate with them today, and so learning becomes useful today. But if you are in Spain, am I making sense? So what I'm trying to tell you is that, yes, we have found an alternative. And the alternative is, instead of taking the child outside, okay, in order to make the language useful, we've done the reverse. Bring the usefulness of the foreign language into the home in Spain. Am I making sense? Probably not at this point, because it sounds rather weird. Everybody speaks Spanish in the Spanish home, so how can English become immediately useful today? That's my challenge. Well, that's what I'm about to tell you. And there are three main aspects to it, okay? The first is, I need to persuade my child that by speaking English to me, although I also speak the child's first language, the child will gain something super. Something that otherwise they cannot. Second thing is, the child and the adult, parent or grandparent, needs to understand which language would be so useful. And finally, something very important, once you do try, which is always difficult, you need to know where you succeed. Okay, so it's about motivation, language, and success. Three things. And that's what I'm going to talk about for the next 40 minutes or so. So let's start with motivation. How do I persuade my child that there is such a thing as instant motivation to speak the foreign language? Well, first of all, I want you to look at something which I hope you immediately recognize. I would like to thank Marisa here, who helped me translate this into Spanish. Do you recognize such exchanges from your homes? 5 more minutes. Yes? 5 more minutes. For instance, what? You're trying to wake your child up in the morning, yes? And that's what I hear every day. 5 more minutes, please. Sometimes without please. Okay. The next one. Will you... Yeah, me llevas hoy a la escuela? Will you pick me up? Yeah. Or take me to school? Yeah.
Take me.
Take me to school, yeah? Will you take me to school? For a slightly older kid. The next one, jugamos a las cartas in the afternoon when they want to play with you. Or, quiero ver algo en la tele. Want to watch something on the telly? Yeah? My Spanish is non-existent, but as you see, I'm trying. The next one, no puedo dormirme. Yeah? You are trying to put your kid to sleep, but now they don't feel like it. They would like some juice instead, maybe. Okay? Happens every day. A version of this happens every day in every home. Yeah? Every day needs in Spanish, because we are talking a Spanish home. That's why I wanted you to look at this in Spanish, because we are in Spain. Okay? Spanish needs of a Spanish family in Spain. Yeah? Okay? Nothing particularly English about them yet. But you see, they have something very interesting from the child's perspective. You know what that is? It's a very interesting clock, isn't it? Because it only shows now all the time. So whose clock is this? It is, of course,
The child.
yeah, the child's clock. There's something very interesting about children's needs, and this is that they are all instant needs. Right? When you want, for instance, when you want to watch a film on the television, you do not want to watch this in 2 hours' time, you want to watch it now. Yes? When you want some juice, you do not want juice in 5 hours' time, you want juice now. Correct? Parents in the room, is that how it happens? Yeah? When there is a need, it wants to be satisfied immediately. Okay, I am almost there with the motivation. Because if there are all those needs, okay, then who is going to satisfy the needs of a child? Well, I'm asking parents now. Could be grandparents as well, actually, yeah? So, a child comes up and wants something, and he or she expects the adult, mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, to immediately satisfy those needs. So, if you like, it's almost like mom and dad, or grandma and grandpa, they're like a Superman. Yeah, they have the superpower to satisfy the need immediately. Yes? Play an extra clip, watch a movie together, play cards, give some juice, all kinds of things like that. Yeah? By the way, in which language do you satisfy the needs? It's in your own first language normally, yes? Okay, including sometimes a situation where you have to say no more for today. Correct? Is this Spanish enough? Suficiente por hoy? Yeah, no more today. So for instance, she wants some more television time, and you say no more. Yeah? So you can satisfy the needs, or you can say no more today. Yeah? This is the superpower of any mother or father, correct? So can you guess what the magic